Here children, we were into acid, bases and salt. We had an introduction about them in previous video. Now this is video 2 and we are going to do acids. So I have written a few formula of the acids. Hydrochloric acid HCl, sulfuric acid H2SO4, nitric acid HNO3, formic acid HCOOH and acetic acid CH3COOH. Now when acid, as I told in the previous video, acids are either ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds, or they are polar covalent compounds. That means they will dissociate into ions. You know what happens? If I can tell you a little bit of what to say, if I can tell you a little bit of formation of how the bonding is there in hydrochloric acid, if I explain you that, then you will be able to little bit understand this. Actually what happens in hydrochloric acid, chlorine has got 7 electrons in its outermost orbit and hydrogen has got 1. So initially there was sharing, but what happens, chlorine being stronger in terms of electronegativity pulls the shared pair of electrons towards itself, so it becomes partially negative charge and partially hydrogen is partially positive charge. So there is a polarity of plus and minus, and that is why when it is kept in a solution it dissociates into H plus and Cl minus ions. So first of the basic thing which you have to understand about acids, so it happens in all of them, that acids will furnish hydrogen ions in a solution. Acid will furnish hydrogen ions in a solution. So actually it will furnish a positive ion which will always be hydrogen ion and a negative ion which may be different in cases of different acids. So that is the first important thing you have to understand about dissociation of acids. Now second important thing is that suppose water is present over here, then what will happen? Suppose water is present over here, then what will happen? In this medium water is also present, then H plus will go with water to form the H3O plus ion, which is called hydronium ion, and plus the negative ion. So there are two things you have to understand stepwise. Acids firstly furnish hydrogen ions in a solution. The hydrogen ions goes with water to form the hydronium ion. So Arrhenius said acids are substances which furnish hydrogen ions in a solution, and the advanced definition has become that acids will furnish hydronium ion plus a negative ion, plus any negative ion depending on the type of acid. This is the first important thing you have to know. Initially also it was told that acids contain replaceable hydrogen ions. Acid contain replaceable hydrogen ions. That means during a chemical reactions from that acid, the hydrogen is replaced. For example, if I take up an acid HCl and I let it be reacted with sodium hydroxide, then what will happen? H2O will be formed and NaCl will be formed. So from here the hydrogen ion is replaced and sodium has come. So acids contain replaceable hydrogen ion in a solution. So that is very important definition or mechanism to understand about acid. And all the hydrogen present in an acid molecule is not necessarily replaceable. It is a type of bonding which is there present in between hydrogen and other element in the particular acid, which will tell which one is the acidic hydrogen, you can say. Say for example, in normal acid it's okay, in normal acids it's okay. These are the acids, so I will rub off these parts where I explain you a few things. Now in normal acids it's okay, but when we talk about some acids which are carboxylic acid, the formula will let you know what is carboxylic acid. COOH, this part is the carboxylic acid part. And these are also called organic acid. So this also you have to remember. Organic acids are acids which contain carboxylic acidic part in them. So these are the inorganic acids. Okay? So carbon is present over here and carboxylic group is present here. So these are organic acids. These are very weak acids. Now in this formula you see, if you see the bonding, so this is purely covalent bond between carbon, purely covalent bond between carbon and hydrogen. But here what will happen, between this, oh, I intentionally have shown electron, one stick means a bonded pair of electrons. So here everything is right, oxygen will also have the lone pair. Now see here there is polarity and only this hydrogen will be replaced. So see what I have written, CH3COH plus. So this is the replaceable hydrogen. So when it will break, CH3COO minus plus H plus H, which when in water will produce, if suppose I add up water over here, so in water it will produce the hydronium ion, H3O plus CH3COO minus. So these are very, very important aspect of understanding the reaction mechanism of an acid and why they furnish the hydrogen ion. The hydrogen ion is actually here also the hydrogen atom is a polar covalent in nature. This is the acidic hydrogen, you can say, in this the polar molecules. These H do not have to do anything with the acidic property of the whole molecule. This is the acidic hydrogen, the replaceable hydrogen. So that is the first thing. Also we understood about acid, that acid furnish acid furnish hydrogen ions or hydronium ion in a solution. And see what is H plus. So Arrhenius concept we understood now. Arrhenius said acids are substances which furnish hydrogen ion, consequently hydronium ion in a solution. But or also we can say acids are substances which contain replaceable hydrogen ions. But when we go further, then we will see that actually what is hydrogen ion? H plus. What is H plus? A hydrogen atom contains, if I see like this, a hydrogen atom only contains one proton in its nucleus. It does not have a neutron, and then it is an electron. So H plus means the hydrogen ion has lost the electron. So now it has become only one proton, isn't it? So, so what happens? Another scientist, Bronsted and Lowry, when they came, they said acids are chemicals which are proton donors. So that is very, very important to understand, children. Now, also you should also understand one more important concept over here. When you are trying to look at hydrochloric acid, suppose you take hydrochloric acid in a solution in a beaker and it has got 100 molecules of hydrochloric acid. So in a solution, all the 100 molecules of hydrochloric acid will not dissociate. Some part, might be out of 150 molecules will dissociate and 50 will remain like that, and there will be a dynamic equilibrium. That means every second 50 is dissociating and another 50 is combining. So always in the solution there are 50 out of 150 hydrochloric acid molecules, and remaining 50 molecules have been dissociated. So same thing with sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid case may be different. Might be out of 190 are dissociated and 10 are in molecular form. So we give a term called degree of dissociation. So if there is complete dissociation or near to complete dissociation, then the acids are strong. Like hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, they undergo almost very high degree of dissociation they have. That means out of 190 molecules are dissociating, might be 50 molecules are dissociating. That is high degree of dissociation. Then they are called strong acid. Whereas formic acid and acetic acid, these are present also. They are called organic acid. Whenever there is COH, that means they are organic acid. So in case of organic acid, the degree of dissociation is very low. So they are called weak acid. And these organic acids like citric acid, oxalic acid, malic acid, lactic acid, all of them have one thing common. Their formula will have carboxylic group, COOH. As soon as you see in the formula COOH is there, that means they are organic acid, they are weak acid. They are present in nature, in natural organic substances, like that means organism. Like citric acid, as I said, it's present in lemon, tartaric acid in tomato, like that. So you should make a list of acids which are present in different vegetables, different fruits, you can say. So that is the first part. Now second part is the pH value. pH value actually deals with the hydrogen ion concentration. The more the hydrogen ion concentration, the lesser the more is acidic nature of that particular compound, and the lesser its pH value. Actually, pH value means negative log of hydrogen ion concentration. That is what is pH. And it becomes positive, it's a mathematical term. Remember, on a scale, if the water is neutral, it contains equal number of hydrogen ions and it contains equal number of hydroxyl ions. So water is neutral and its pH value is 7. So below 7, any value below 7 will go towards the acidic nature, and any value above 7 to 14, it will go towards the basic nature. So 0 to 7, when you reach till 7, it is acidic, 7 is neutral, above 7 to 14 is basic nature. That is the pH value. Alright, then as I said, what are indicators? Indicators are substances, chemicals or agents which show change in physical properties when they are exposed to acid or bases. So, for example, litmus paper, as I said, it will show change. Phenolphthalein or methyl orange, these solutions will show changes when they are exposed to acids or bases. Some of them will show change in smell. So they are called olfactory indicators. That is the first part. Now second part is how do we dilute, what is the meaning of dilute acid and concentrated acid? It's just the mixing of acid and water. More water, less acid means dilute acid. More acid and less water means concentrated acid. Now here also you should understand, first thing is that acids are ionic in nature, their solution will conduct electricity. When you mix acid whenever you mix acid and water, the reaction is exothermic, heat is generated. And therefore it is always important to understand this, that when you are trying to dilute, you always keep water in which you have to pour the acid. The opposite is not allowed and it is dangerous. Because as soon as you mix acid and water, heat will be generated. Water has got very high specific heat capacity. So it will be able to absorb that heat easily and will cause no damage. But if you do the opposite thing, if you add water to acid, that means if you keep acid in beaker and add water from the top, then heat will be generated and that heat has to be absorbed by acid. Acid do not have very high specific heat. So they will start fuming, they can cause splashes, and when they will cause splashes, they will cause you severe burns, etc. if they fall on your skin. So that is the first important introductory part and second introductory part of acids and their mechanism. Alright? This is very, very important. Now just beside this, now we are going to write down the bases. Just beside this, now I am going to write the bases. Now base means sodium hydroxide. So bases furnish hydroxyl ion in a solution. That we have understood, bases furnish hydroxyl ion in a solution. Now when we are talking about bases, then what happens? Bases have got pH value above 7. There are certain strong bases and certain weak bases. Same thing applies. When a base dissociates completely, almost completely, and for out of 100 molecules, say more than 50 molecules are undergoing dissociation, producing hydroxyl ion and the positive ions, then there are strong bases, and then there will be certain weak bases also. So weak bases means that there will be partial dissociation. So that is very important thing, that now basis turns red litmus blue. Their pH value is above 7. From above 7 to 14, the pH value is still there. Alright, bases are soapy in touch, they are bitter in taste. Alright, and when acid and base react, then they neutralize the property. What is the neutralizing property? That base will give hydrogen ion, acid will give hydroxyl ion. Both these ions will consume each other and form water molecules, so the neutral part will come. So suppose I am reacting hydrochloric acid with sodium hydroxide, what will happen? This OH and this H plus will react, and then I am writing the reaction. So water will be formed and NaCl will be formed. The positive and the other positive and negative ion will react with each other. So I am writing the reaction over here, HCl plus NaOH will give NaCl, that is a salt, and water. So when there is, and this is a complete neutralization reaction. So when there is a complete neutralization reaction, and acid and base will react to produce salt and water. Suppose I am reacting sodium hydroxide with H2SO4. So there will be two sodium hydroxide molecule because needed, because OH minus over here will neutralize only one hydrogen, so one more is needed. So what will happen if I balance this reaction and write KOH, sorry, one more potassium KOH, or let us say NaOH, right? NaOH plus H2SO4. So what is happening? Let us see here. Na2SO4 plus H2O is formed. So water is a constant product, and the other product is salt. So what are salts? Salts are the product of reactions between acid and bases normally, and salt will contain a positive ion and a negative ion. So the positive ion will not be the hydrogen ion other than hydrogen or hydronium ion, and the negative ion will not be the hydroxyl ion. So salt will always have, normally salts have a metal cation and an anion. That is what salts are. But some salt may have non-metal cations also. So here very important part to understand is the reaction. Now a little bit further beyond the syllabus I will try to say that sodium hydroxide, I am trying to rub this out over now. Now some very important part I want to discuss over here. See, hydrochloric acid only gives one hydrogen, so it's a monoprotic acid. That means it donates only one proton, and this is a base. So this base gives only one hydroxyl ion. So if they react with each other, one will need only one. So these are all standard acid and bases. Now suppose I keep, now I have a reaction with H2SO4 plus sodium hydroxide. Now what happens? Here it is having two hydrogen ions plus sulfate ions. So it will require two hydroxyl ions. So if it will require two hydroxyl ions, so two sodium hydroxide will be needed. Two sodium hydroxide will be needed. Two sodium hydroxide will be needed. So that means the reactions will be Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. So H2SO4 is a dibasic acid. It needs two bases, two standard bases. So H2SO4 is a dibasic acid. Now if I talk about H3PO4, there will be three hydrogens, so three sodium hydroxide molecules. So it will be a tri-basic acid. Similarly, if we talk another way around. Similarly, if we talk another way around, let us have a look. If I talk about HCl, so HCl will break up as H plus and Cl minus, and I talk about MgOH whole twice. If I talk of, so this is a base, so when it will dissociate as MgH plus plus and OH minus 1 and OH minus 2. Whereas this will only give one proton or one hydrogen. So one hydrogen will neutralize one hydroxyl. So two acids are needed. So if I talk in terms of magnesium hydroxide, so magnesium hydroxide is a diacetic base because it will need two acids, two standard acids. So it's a diacetic base. So these are the important things you have to understand, and that is why in our day-to-day life our body contains, our digestive system contains hydrochloric acid. So if there is excess hydrochloric acid in our body, then we call a situation rising up called acidity. So doctors, they prescribe antacids. Antacids are what? Bases, and bases will go and neutralize. Like magnesium hydroxide is an antacid which is used. Or sometimes now present day they give proton inhibitors. That means these like Zintac tablet. So they go and they consume the H plus present in our system. So they contain chemicals who will prohibit the H plus. That is why they are called proton inhibitors. That means they will neutralize that H plus. They will consume that or use in a reaction. So that is. We will have some more of this chapter in the next video. So we try to sum up a few things. Both acid, bases and salt, all of them conduct electricity. All of them are ionic in nature. They produce hydrogen ion. Acid will have hydrogen or hydronium ion plus negative ion. They will conduct electricity. Bases will have hydroxyl ion plus a positive ion. Salt will have any positive or negative ion, but not hydrogen and hydroxyl ion. So let us see the list of acids, the list of bases, list of strong acids, list of strong bases, list of weak acid, list of weak bases. So let us have a look.